Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do the blush tag, which I've seen a lot of people do here on YouTube, and I thought it looked really fun, and it definitely was a little bit of a challenge to find things in each of these categories. There are a lot of questions, and you'll learn a lot about the different blushes that I like and don't like. So let's just jump right in. So the first one is best packaging, and I definitely am a sucker for packaging. I know a lot of us are. It's definitely more about the product, but when it has a great package to go with it, it's the best of both worlds. So it had to be my Too Faced Love Flush Blush. So they all come in little hearts like this. They're all kind of colored based on what the color is inside. And on the inside, it has a really cute little mirror, and it's even imprinted here that you can see. So just the whole thing is so well thought out. It has a nice magnetic closure, and it's very sleek. Of course, the color inside is gorgeous too. This is the color I Will Always Love You, which is just a really pretty sort of peachy orangey color. And so far I haven't messed up the little embossment there, but I don't know how long that will take. So you can see it's just a really beautiful peachy orangey color. Great for the spring and summertime. The next one is Prettiest Color. That one was a very, very hard one because obviously I find all of my blushes really beautiful colors. That's why I got them. I couldn't really just pick one. And the only reason I I cheated and added an extra one is because one of these is going to be included in another question later. So that was sort of, that was my justification on picking two. So the two that I picked are NARS Orgasm and MAC Warm Soul. These two are both cult products, and they're cult products for a reason because they're absolutely beautiful. NARS Orgasm is such a gorgeous peachy pink color with a gold sparkle in it. If you don't like sparkly blushes, then yeah, maybe you might not like this one, but I love it. It was one of my top 5 blushes in the video that I did on that, and I love this blush. It's so, so gorgeous. MAC Warm Soul is such a unique color, which is why I picked it as one of the prettiest colors that I have. It's a beautiful sort of pinky bronze color. It's one of those blushes that just looks so amazing on. It looks great on so many skin tones, and it looks good with a lot of different looks as well. It's a beautiful blush. It's a mineralized blush in the MAC line, and if I don't know what to wear, this one is an easy one. It's on my ring finger there. So, so beautiful. And it looks beautiful in a swatch and in the pan, but on the face, it looks even more beautiful. The next one is Most Pigmented, and I do have a lot that are very, very pigmented, but this one I picked because it is somewhat because of the color. The formula is really pigmented, but it's also a very bright color, so you need so little of this to put on your face, and you're good to go. So that's what's so great about this product, is that you really just need so little of it. I mean, really all of these blushes, it's gonna take you a very long time to go through them, but this one in particular, this is the Clinique Cheek Pop in the color Berry Pop. So it's a beautiful bright pink. So smooth, but look at that. That's pigmented right there, okay? You don't need very much of this to put on your face to make an impact, right? I mean, it's such a beautiful color, but wow, very pigmented. So you need very little of this. And you wouldn't really think so, especially with a brush, because of the texture of it. It's not like a very, creamy texture, but it's very smooth. You will get a lot of bang for your buck with this one. You will not have trouble seeing this when I swatch it on my arm. Okay? Yeah. Not a problem at all. That one is definitely the most pigmented that I own. The next one is Everyday Blush. I think of an everyday blush. I think of a blush that is very soft and doesn't have a ton of intense color and really can go with any look. So just like with Warm Soul, but even more so with this one, it's the kind of blush where if I don't have any time to think about it, I'm just grabbing for a blush as quickly as I can. This is gonna go with everything. If I'm wearing a bright lip, if I'm wearing a lot on my eyes, this is not gonna distract in any way, so that's why I call it my everyday blush. And this is the MAC blush in Blush Baby. So you can see it's just a very soft, dusty pink color. It's not too pink, it's not too nude, it doesn't have any shimmer in it, totally matte. So it's just the easiest blush you can throw on. Again, it's gonna go with anything. It's not gonna distract from anything. It's not gonna make much of a statement, but it's very, very soft and very pretty on the face, and just, it looks very natural. You can see that there. This is not, you know, something that you have to be worried about putting too much of it on. It just looks really, really nice. It's not gonna look so great on darker skin tones. It's definitely for more of the fair people of the spectrum. But if you are on the fairer side, this is a great everyday blush. It will go with anything. The next one is Party Blush. And this one was a little tricky for me. I really didn't know what to pick as far as a party blush. But I guess what I thought about a little bit is a similar idea to the everyday blush. I'm thinking, when I go to a party, I'm probably going to dress up my eyes. I'm gonna wear maybe a bold lip. I'm not necessarily gonna wear like a bright pink blush because I'm gonna be playing up every other part of my face. So I want the blush not to distract too much. So I wanted to go somewhere with that everyday blush idea, but add one that has a little bit more to it. So the blush I picked for that is Wet n Wild's Pearlescent Pink. This is the old packaging. They just redid the packaging and they redid the formula, I believe. But I think that, you know, the new formula is just maybe a little bit better. This one's still fantastic. This one here, it's so much more beautiful than you would expect. And especially for a super affordable drugstore product, this is such a fantastic blush. It's a beautiful, soft, peachy pink with a sparkle in it. So, but the sparkle is not super crazy in your face. It just is the right amount. And it's gonna go with a lot of different looks. It's not gonna distract too much, but it looks so much more beautiful on the face than you would really expect. And it's such a great formula, and again, so affordable. So they do look a little bit different in the stores now, but they're still really great. So if you see one of these blushes, especially this color, definitely check them out. It just adds a little bit more than the blush baby would if you're going to a party. So the next one is the one that I regret purchasing. And it's kind of hard to say that I regret it because it was really cheap. It was probably $3. So, you know, yeah, it was cheap. But I mean, again, that's still $3 that I could have spent on something else or put towards a better blush. So this is an e.l.f. blush, and they have different types of blushes. They have also like baked ones, which are probably better, would be my guess. But this one is in the shade Pink Passion. So it's just one of their powder blushes. It's sort of, you know, it looks like a NARS type of packaging. It's definitely meant to look kind of like that, but the product inside is nowhere near what the NARS blushes are. Again, it's super cheap, so, you know, it's hard to complain too much about it. But, I mean, you're still spending your money, and honestly, you know, if drugstore products can be great, like with the Wet n Wild ones, I mean, I'm still going to be a little bit critical of the ones that are cheap but are not very good. So I don't love this because, I mean, the color is gorgeous. Look at that. You can see it sort of has like an ombre little color palette to it, but it's just really powdery, really chalky. It's just, you can see, I mean, it's just like, it's just very chalky. I mean, it's a really pretty color. It's very pigmented, but it's just, I have so many other blushes that are just way better quality, and I don't reach for this because it's just okay. It's not my favorite, and I mean, you know, it's not like unusable. It's not like awful on the face, but it's definitely not one of my best, and I wish that I had not gotten this. So the next one is Least Used, and this is not a product that I dislike by any means. I happen to really like it. It's a beautiful color, it's a beautiful product, great brand, but I don't use it a lot. And this is the Makeup Forever Cream Blush. It's in the shade 215. They don't really do names for their colors, they just do numbers. Anyway, packaging is super sleek, like all of Makeup Forever's stuff, and it's a beautiful peachy color. I love it. It's so good. And the quality's fantastic. It's super smooth and it goes on really easily. It's not super greasy on the face or anything like that. I'll show you here. You know, it's not necessarily a cream to powder, but it is really easy to wear. It's not difficult as far as cream products go, but I just don't wear cream blushes a lot. It takes a little bit more thought. I guess it takes a little bit more time. It's easier to pull out a powder blush. And especially going into the summer when it gets a little more hot out, it's just easier for me to wear a powder blush being a little bit more oily. But again, it's not that I don't like this, I just don't reach for it a ton. I definitely should. It's beautiful, but it is sadly my least used product. The next one is most used, would never let go of. So like I said, I was gonna repeat one of those from earlier on, the Prettiest color. So I'm picking NARS Orgasm as that one. This is my first NARS blush. It's probably my favorite out of my whole collection, even though it's such a specific color and it, you know, doesn't necessarily go with everything. If I had to throw away every other single blush that I have, this is the one that I would not let go of. I really love, love, love this color. And I mean, just NARS blushes, I mean, they're expensive, but they're beautiful. I just absolutely would go crazy if I lost this. I would have to purchase this right away because this one is just my favorite out of everything. And, you know, I say most used, even though I don't wear this on a daily basis, but over the years, this has been the one that I've used the most because it's just been my favorite. And I would never, ever, ever give this up. So the next one is a little bit repetitive, but it's favorite blush brand, and it has to go to NARS. I think NARS is probably my favorite brand in general. I love their products. I've found very little that I don't absolutely love from them. And their blushes definitely are at the top of the list for me of their products. They're just so beautiful. Again, yes, they are expensive, but to me, they're worth it. You don't need a ton of them, and of course, you don't go through them very quickly. I mean, really, with any blush, you're not gonna go through it very quickly. They have so many amazing colors, and the color payoff is there. They look great on the face, and they're just really so worth it. That has to be just my favorite brand. The next one is greatest blush discovery of the year. So I picked a blush palette for this category, and that's the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani blush palette for a few reasons. So first of all, this packaging. This one could have given the Too Faced one a little run for its money. It's so gorgeous. I love the white and the gold. So pretty. So the other thing is, I mean, the blushes inside are gorgeous. So of course there is a little more of a bronzery shade, and there are a couple highlights in here. So yes, it's a blush palette, but there are only, you know, really 3 blushes in here, I guess. But still the best discovery because this was really worth it. I thought that this was a great purchase. I liked it even more than I thought I would. This blush right here called Easy makes the whole palette worth it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So pretty. I'll swatch that on my hand. It's a gorgeous blush color. It definitely makes the palette worth it, even just for that one. But the whole thing, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit bulky, so it's not necessarily travel friendly, but it does have a lot in there for you. So as far as like, you know, face products, you pull this out, you've got your bronzer, your blush, your highlight. The highlights aren't super intense. That's the only thing, I guess. But if you like that, then there you go. But really just great quality. I mean, Urban Decay is fantastic, so the quality is great. They're very pigmented and they just look beautiful. So this was a highlight of the year for me. So the next one is most practical. So when I think of practical, I think of like, you know, everyday, but also travel friendly. So something that's very sleek and easy to carry on, you know, in my bag. So I thought about the BECCA Afterglow palette. So first of all, you know, with travel, it's very sleek and, you know, the packaging is not very heavy. It's very lightweight. And the nice thing about this, it's a palette and it has like 2 blushes in it technically. And so it has both. It has highlights and blushes. But even some of these, since I'm kind of fair, some of these highlights, like these 2 are technically highlights. Those could be more like blushes or blush toppers for me because I'm fair. And then I would use this one as a highlight. But these 2 blushes are so great. This one, Wild Honey, is such a great everyday color. You can wear it with almost everything. And Flower Child is a great pinky blush. So both of these blushes are really versatile. So this is the greatest thing to bring on vacation with you or even just throw in your makeup bag because it's really thin and easy to carry. And it has a lot of different blush options and even the highlights in there. So I put this as the most practical because I feel like this one is such a great value for what you get. I don't know if you can get this anymore, but it really is such a great palette if you can get it. And then for the least practical, this one is a liquid blush. And this is the Stila, what is it called? Aqua Glow Watercolor Blush. in the color Shimmering Lotus. I love this. I've talked about this before. This is definitely one of my favorite things. So this has nothing to do with me not liking it again. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Shimmery, peachy pink color. Can you tell that I like peachy pink colors? You know, it can be very subtle. It can be built up. It's so beautiful. But again, you know, it's a liquid, so it's a little more involved. This is not a quick thing. You don't just slap this on and you go. You have to, you know, either use your fingers or use a brush or something and blend it in. You know, it can be quick, but it's just not, it's not the most practical. It's not good to travel with. You know, it's not easy to store because of it's in a pot like this, so it doesn't go where the rest of my blushes go in my collection. So I love this. I still use this a lot. I mean, I do really like it, but as far as practicality goes, not at the top of the list. So the most expensive blush that I have, not from NARS. NARS is up there, but this one that I have is more. This is the Hourglass blush that I have in Mood Exposure. They have a bunch of these blushes. Hourglass is a very pricey brand, but again, I would say pretty worth it. If you just get one Hourglass blush, they're really, really beautiful. I love this color for the fall time. It's such a beautiful sort of plummy mauvey color. Love that one. I really think that it's so, so flattering. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, so if you don't like, you know, glittery blushes, this will give you a glow, which is really nice. And again, this one is awesome for the fall time. I usually pull it out more then, but it's a little bit expensive. If you were on a budget, maybe not for you. And then the least expensive, I already touched upon the Wet n Wild and the e.l.f. Those are technically the least expensive ones that I own, but I wanted to talk about the least expensive that I have that I think is the best, besides the Wet n Wild one, because I already talked about that. So those would be the Milani Baked Blushes. So I have two of them. You can find these at the drugstore. They're very inexpensive. They're under $10. I think they're maybe $8 or something like that. But these are really amazing. Particularly this one in Luminoso. Again, another peachy pink color. I don't know what to tell you. It's my favorite, I guess. This is a cult favorite. And you know, when there's a drugstore product that's a cult favorite, that says a lot. And this one in Dolce Pink is also really beautiful. A really vibrant pinky color. These have a nice sheen to them. You know, they're sort of glittery, but they do not look glittery on the face. They just look really glowy and beautiful. So, so pigmented and just, oh, I mean, look at that. That's not a bad quality. That is not like a, oh yeah, that's from the drugstore, you know. So, so nice. And they, you know, they blend out beautifully, and honestly, they're just as good as any high-end product. These are really great. They have a lot of different colors, and some are better than others for sure, but these are just awesome. If you get one, definitely get Luminoso. They're beautiful. All right, so that is it. That is a very long tag, but definitely was really fun to research and figure out one for each category. It wasn't so easy for all the categories. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. That would really help me out. If you are not subscribed to me already, please hit the subscribe button. I would just love that, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.